Hey everybody, I'm heading to the convenience store ostensibly to get a beverage, but honestly it's as much for the token social interaction as much as anything that I make occasional trips down there, and I'm taking the long way so I have a little extra time to talk. I finished Kim Stanley Robinson's Aurora today, and I wasn't super surprised by where it went. I was a little bit surprised at how long he stretched out the denouement, and how sort of cold and technical the climax of the action was. But a good novel. It'll stick with me. More the themes than the plot or the characters. And one of the themes, oh wow, behind me here there's a tree down. I'll get closer. One of the themes was that human beings are evolved to live on this planet. And if we go to other planets, one of two things will be the case. Oh, wow. So this was definitely not a controlled felling of the tree. Look at this picnic table. Ouch. Anyway, if humans go to another planet, one of two things will be the case. Either it'll be a dead planet, in which case it'll either be too hot or too cold, or for whatever reason, it's going to take a while to terraform and make it suitable for human habitation. And in the meantime, humans will have to be living in small habitats, which, ecologically speaking, you really need a big space to keep a biosphere in balance for the long haul. If it takes 3,000 years to get your planet ready for human habitation, and you're living, in domes or orbital habitats or underground or something in fairly small spaces, but you're also trying to have animals and plants and microflora and microfauna and keep them all in some sort of ecological balance, it's just not going to work out. The bacteria are going to outcompete just about everything else because they evolve more quickly. And also because, they share information, genetic information, asexually. They swap it around. See that big white house behind me? I know the people who live there, although I don't talk to them a whole lot. Anyway, one of them just walked out and got me talking to myself here. So, a planet will either be dead, in which case it's just going to take too long to change it into something that humans can live on, or it's going to either have life on it or be suitable for life. And if it's suitable for life, chances are it's going to have life on it. And that life is going to be toxic to us, most likely. When the humans, the Europeans, first started coming to the North American continent, pretty much everything south of Washington, D.C. was absolutely deadly to us. In fact, one of the reasons, one of the, I don't want to say justifications, but one of the things that made enslaving certain types of African people profitable and attractive was that they had immunity to the diseases that killed off most Europeans who were sent to the New World. And part of our language, that a linguistic holdover from that time, is that when a new European worker arrived in the New World, it took, a few months to see if they were going to live. They had to catch the local diseases, and they would either survive that bout of disease or they wouldn't. If they did survive, then they spent the first season that they were here being sick. And if they lived through that first season, then they were seasoned. So we still talk about seasoned veterans, or people, who have experience being seasoned. That's a holdover from that period. But so the ultimate point of the novel, I think, is that space travel for human beings it's not really workable. And something that I've said for years, and I still maintain, is that space is for robots. But I had a heated discussion with somebody in real life a few months back, and my position was that, well, his position, we'll say this. His position is that interstellar travel is impossible because over the course of the evolution of a civilization, an intelligent species will discover fossil fuels, it will utilize them, it will overextend itself, the fossil fuels will run out. In the process, it wrecks its environment, and then the fossil fuels are gone, the environment is wrecked, and they have to basically start over and make do with what's left, and that is not a recipe for space travel. So basically, by the normal course of social and societal evolution, we basically squander our chance for space travel. And thereafter, it's just not in the cards. And he also just maintained that for biological creatures, interstellar travel is impossible. The distances are too great. There's no way to sustain life for, the durations needed. And largely, Kim Stanley Robinson is arguing for that point of view in this novel. And my position was that, well, you can transform human intelligence into something which is durable for long space journeys. I didn't say it in so many words because I knew that it wouldn't fly in this particular crowd, but basically strong AI or some sort of merger of human and artificial intelligence, machine intelligence, basically something that isn't squishy, vulnerable human biology, but is still intelligent and has intentionality, you might say, has self-directed initiative, that will be what we send into interstellar space. And in fact, I think that's what we'll send to various planets, moons, and asteroids here in our own solar system to harvest resources and to build stuff. And in the novel, Kim Stanley Robinson, he says that even people who live within the solar system, they either come back to Earth every 5 to 10 years for an extended stay, or they tend to live about 20 years less. Now, these are people with much longer lifespans than ours. They live up to 200 years in this novel. But still, 20 years off your life is considerable, even if you're living for 200 years. And nobody in the novel is really sure exactly why this happens. And in fact, you really have to rely on statistics and modeling to see that it's an actual phenomenon. But the idea is that we are life of this planet, and we can survive for a time outside of this planet in some sort of suitable artificial habitation, but we don't do well. And in the novel, I suppose I should put spoilers in the title. In the novel, Earth has sent out a great many interstellar seed ships, with humans on them, multi-generational ships, and they never heard from any of them. So that's largely the point that Kim Stanley Robinson is making here. And in this conversation that I had a few months ago, when I mentioned that, well, we can send AI and robots off on these long missions, this person asked me, well, what good is it to humans if robots go to other planets and other star systems? And as I say, what absolutely wouldn't fly with the crowd of people that I was with was the idea that, well, you could actually invest machines with human souls, just to put it in a bumper sticker. But even if machines don't have, that spark, even if they're not fully, if they're not full persons, still, I think that we could send them out. They could go and, create facilities and collect information and send it back to us, and that would benefit us. So there could be some benefit to humans. But ultimately what I'm thinking is, what benefit is it to Neanderthals? Or, maybe one of our direct ancestors, say Homo habilis. What benefit is it to them? What benefit is it to Lucy? I think she was Australopithecus. That I'm standing here with a smartphone shooting a selfie video. Is it any benefit to her? I mean, I'm not of her species. She doesn't know me. I couldn't possibly trace, the intervening generations between me and her. I'm glad that I'm here. doing what I'm doing. You know, I'm glad that the current situation, this certainly has room for improvement, and I have some suggestions, but I'm glad that it is as it is. It could be so much worse. And to me, it would be worse if, you know, there was no industrial civilization on this planet. I think, you know, our gray technology, our polluting technology, our rapacious exhaustion of natural resources is a problem. It's something to be overcome, but it's not something to regret, at least not from my perspective. And, you know, we don't even have to go to a different species. What good is it to Thomas Paine that I'm standing here with my Huawei smartphone on a selfie stick, talking into a Sennheiser microphone? What good is it to Christopher Columbus? You know, what good is it to Harriet Tubman that I'm here doing what I'm doing? We're talking about events taking place in the far future. Do I get to participate in the benefit that accrues to future generations if I'm not around? And what do I care if they're unmodified humans, genetically engineered humans, human-machine hybrids, or fully mechanical, you know, human replacements? Regardless of, you know, how they're constituted, what benefit do I get from their explorations if I'm gone? And I'm not working around to a practiced answer to, you know, put at the end of that question. I'll just leave it as a question. And now, on to the store.